Okay, so it's weird. It's so weird. Last night was fucking weird as shit. Because I went to sleep and it seemed like still it was fine. Like, I don't know what the fuck. It was weird. All this rain suddenly came in. And it was like, I thought it was, I bet you that they definitely had to have some flooding. I couldn't believe how deep my yard was. And it was so much water. It just kept coming and coming and coming and raining and raining and raining. And so Stella's already in a mood because, you just sit on the porch. And she was getting sopping wet on the porch even. There was so much rain. And so she came in, I think it was like 7 that she laid down and started going to sleep. And so then I started getting ready, I swear I was laying down going to sleep. Like, it was like before 8. It was like right before 8. And then like the first time she woke me up, I think it was like 8:45. And then it was like every hour or 2 hours all night long until a little while ago. And I was so out of it. I couldn't, oh my God, I was so out of it. Oh my God. I couldn't even, and my dream time, my sleeping time is so different than what it used to be. It isn't like I'm sleeping. It's not like I'm asleep. It's weird. It's like I'm awake and I'm completely aware that I'm doing stuff. And I can be doing a whole bunch of different stuff, talking, oh my God, it's so weird. And I'm learning stuff. I'm totally aware of it. It's all cool, I enjoy that. And then when she wakes me up, it is like trying to pull myself out of it or something. I don't know. It's so hard. It's so weird. And I was so out of it all night, and she kept getting me up and getting me up. And I was going back and forth from wherever to sleep because she'd go out and she'd walk around and then she'd be outside, and it seemed like she didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was like, what are you doing? I kept going out there. What are you doing? And she's just wandering around and going and sitting and staring on the porch and shit. It's like, oh my God, what in the fuck is happening? So I'm telling you, this shit is weird. This just gets weirder and weirder and weirder. It's like, fuck. Sometimes I'm just like, what in the hell was my soul thinking? I'm like, this is so weird. This is so weird. I got to keep thinking, okay, there's going to be a good benefit up around the corner, because Jesus Christ, this is like something. So there was a couple things I wanted to talk about, though, that I had seen. Hawaii just gets worse and worse and worse. I swear to God. It's so fucking disgusting. It makes me so sick to my stomach. They have a whole, it's over by a dentist office, and they've gone in and they've built these structures going around. So it's like this double fence. It's all like this black. I've seen this stuff before. It's like some sort of black fabric-y stuff, and they're making these big wood things, and then they're putting this shield so you can't see, and really high so you can't even climb up and see, but you can hear all the generators. It's all refrigeration in these places. And the rumor on the streets there is they've got 3,800 people in refrigerated coffins, refrigerated tanks. They've got so many dead refrigerated people that they've got these giant places they built up. And why in the fuck wouldn't they be giving these people to their family members? Because they fucking killed all the family members. And I found some other interesting things out about Lahaina. So not only is it their ancient, you got the sneezes? And not only is it their ancient lands, there's ancient burial and stuff, like supposedly there's treasures and stuff under there. And then, but the Hawaiians, there is a small percentage of Hawaiians that are even left on Hawaii because it's so expensive. So they've moved them all off of their natural lands. And so I think it was like half the people were natural Hawaiians, like actual Hawaiians. Then she was going through this category of how they categorize them. Because there's ones that have been born there, people who are born there, they're not Hawaiian, but they have a different category than the people who aren't born there, and then the tourist and all that. So they have these different categories. But the people, the actual Hawaiians, they can't afford to live in their own land. They've been, you know, this is what these people do, these colonists, globalists, whatever these people are, these money hoarder motherfuckers that just take from us and don't give a shit. It's more important for them to all have a place to go on vacation than for people to have their natural land. And you know how these rich people like islands, and they're a fucking bunch of weirdos. I want to say robots, but they're just robotic in their sense of entitlement. Yeah, they deserve everything and we deserve nothing. But I had seen another person now, like I think they're a spiritual person, talking about the chosen, the star seeds, these people who are out there. And he was making a response to somebody that was doing a video, and they were out somewhere, like, I don't know, at a fair or something, and they were bitching and complaining, and they were holding their phone up, and they're just like, oh, look, my God, look at all these NPCs. And the guy was so disgusted. He's like, oh my God, you people, the hypocrisy is showing. Like, this is the thing, is like what I keep saying about these people. It's like they don't see. But he's like calling them out on their hypocrisy. Like, you guys think that you, I mean, you put yourselves up on this pedestal. Like, you think you're so much better than people. And you, with this chosen star seed and calling people NPCs and thinking they don't have value and stuff. It's completely off from this love and light. We're all about the love and light and love everybody and peace and all this stuff. But really, they're judgmental. They are so in ego. There's a lot of issues. If you're one of those people who align with those titles, you need to go in deeper and see, because I don't know if some of these people are just basing their stuff on Dolores Cannon's teachings. That's why I said you don't just go in and read, like, just read Dolores Cannon and think you're an expert. That's what it seems like so many of these people have done. But you got to go read more. Go read more about this stuff, not just one person. And her whole thing about the NPCs, and that is a perspective. It is a way of, receiving data, receiving information. It's your perspective. So when they tell you something, that's why I'm saying everything that they show me and tell me, I'm the receiver. So I'm perceiving what they are showing me. When they're showing me things, I've got to translate what I'm seeing. I got to be able to see it and understand it. And sometimes it takes several different ways of seeing it to really get the full effect. That's why I say you got to work on your own, because it's how you see it it's based on your understanding, your perspective. Just like when I'm sitting here talking about these dark attachments, this dark energy, these attachments that get onto us, that is how I see it, is this condensed emotion. They don't have thought. Their whole thing is about survival. They're parasitic, just like a parasite. But they are manipulative because it's not manipulative because they know what they're doing. They're manipulative because they're trying to stay alive, and they'll say whatever it is to you to keep you feeding their energy. So it is, but then you hear these other people explain them in different ways and stuff. So it is your perception. It's how you see. It's how you perceive. So when these people are saying NPCs, to me, that is, we don't have soulless people just down here. Like, everything has energy. What in the world is down here? Like, my confusion is, like, what are they doing with the clones? Like, are they making clones? Do clones automatically have a sense of your, like, if a clone comes from you, do automatically a part of your essence go into that clone? Like, or you go and then this clone is separate. You know, I don't know. I don't know how they're doing all of this stuff. But NPC, to think that there's people down here who are functioning, going around doing things. And then that, and plus this guy was saying that you think that these are just like, you are the main character and these are all just the side players that have no meaning in their life. It's like, I've always thought that was so strange, because the people that other people think are non-players are our family members. They're the people who live next to us. They're the people that we know. So how is it that they're non-players to you because they don't matter in your story. They're not in your orbit, but they still have a purpose. They still have a life. They're still living and experiencing and learning. So you got to have respect. That is a true spirituality. When you're truly going into your spirituality, you will learn to respect everybody as equal. We're all equal. We're all just playing different parts. And all the parts have just as much importance as every other part. And so the NPCs, like when you're saying about these non-players, the people, that is people who are in their lower chakras. That is people who are just on autopilot. They are playing the game it is like playing the game without awareness. It's just like I just see it always as, like an amusement park. And we're all lining up to get on these rides. We're all excited to go on these rides for the experience. And, we're all lining on and getting in. But when, it is like when you're birthed into it, when you go through the tunnel and you come out, that is cool. Because like on the ride, you know how they'll have us and you're in the little part and we're all getting in the little cars, they lock you in, and then it shoots out through a little tunnel opening out into the ride. So and that is like a portal too. So then when you are birthed out, so when you go out there, it is like some people go like on an autopilot or something. Like I was talking about yesterday, it's like they tune more into the vehicle, what the vehicle is experiencing. Not everybody tunes into the spirit. I know I did, but, and I think it's more rare for people, but I think we can turn that around. I think that is, they don't want us to. So, it's more rare that we do. But to me, like, there was no choice. Like, mine was way too loud. There was no choice. I mean, they were harassing me when I was 3. So, like, a lot of people get to go be 3 and just do stupid shit. No, I was having them, we're going to talk about this stupid shit you're doing. So, but the people who are but that's part of their experience. And so their NPC behavior is just lower chakra. It's just autopilot. It hasn't moved through the chakra system. They're just, but to sit there and act like that they have no value. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, is why we have to go through this giant awakening process, why it has to be so violent and so scary is just like this, that people have no empathy, no compassion, and these people who think that they're like the super spirits, like they're so spiritual, but look how judgmental and hateful and arrogant and ego-based they are. So that is what I talk about with the 3D spirituality. It's very different than what they are trying to market. Well, you got to be a vegan, you better know about some crystals, you better wear a lot of protection and beads and all that kind of stuff. And I don't even know all the rules. Like, I mean, fuck, it seems like a lot of them get goddamn a lot of them have fake hair, they have fake colors, they have extensions, they wear tons of makeup. Some of them wear tons of makeup. Lots of them have dreadlocks. Like, it's a look. It's like they try and represent a look or something, like a style. Like, I'm a spiritual style. I'm spiritual, And it's like, if you're spiritual, it's like a daily practice. It's a way of seeing life. It's a way of looking at life different. It's a different lens to experience life through. And it is, it's something you got to work on. When things happen and stuff, you got to go in and evaluate, and look at things, because it is very different. It's like a 3D life and a spiritual life. It's 2 different kinds of existence in the same plane of existence, and it's all by a choice. But yeah, to sit there and say these people are NPCs and they're not real people, and You know, I don't know all Dolores Cannon's translation. I haven't read all of her books. I've read a couple, and there's a lot of people who do the QHHTs. A lot of people who read, you know, I mean, she has a lot of good ones about past life stuff. But yeah, I'll tell you too, another thing with this guy, these guys with the Roman thing, it's funny because I don't get, what do these wives think? It's weird. Are they, I don't know. People are so, this is just the weirdest experience. But anyways, they keep doing these videos trying to question their husbands, and they all keep being like, it's so funny, it's so funny. At the husbands, oh my gosh. Look at this one yesterday. So she starts questioning him, and they'll kind of get embarrassed, like, yeah, why? Why is that weird? I think about the Roman Empire all the time. And they'll be like, well, how often? Well, I did a little while ago. And it's just like, well, what are you thinking about? This guy, he was saying how glad he is that they are finally something with concrete. Like they used concrete back in the Roman Empire, and then they took concrete away from the people, but he's so glad now that they have concrete back. I was like, well, that's interesting. And then he starts saying, and we used to mix it with urine. Like they used urine to mix stuff. And he starts talking about that. And I was like, well, that's interesting. So I love to comment. I said, seems like we're going to get some of our history through these past life memories, because that's what I think is going on. All these guys, and then that is what I was saying, like when I'm outside and I'm doing stuff and I don't know how to do it, and you put it out to the universe, somebody steps in. And I don't know if it is, you know, an aspect of my higher self, if it's just another spirit that is there to help, if it is my own, you know, a part of me that is stepping, like going into the Akashic record. I don't know how it works, but, you know, I'll start doing stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. And not just that, but I'll feel like I don't feel the same. Like I'll feel like my hands are different. Everything is different. Like I'll feel like something is inside of me showing me how to do it. And I don't know on what all confirmation. I don't know on what all levels that you know, is all by our perspective. Oh yeah, I just saw this other thing too, you know, in other countries, in some other places, that they the people that we think are crazy and mentally ill, they elevate them as being spiritually more intact, spiritually more connected. That's what I've been saying. Been saying all that. Or we sit here and tell schizophrenics and stuff like, no, we should have been fucking listening to them. We should have been talking to them. We should have been helping them traverse their reality and be able to push the negative spirits back. But, you know, instead we just medicate them, tell them they're crazy, throw them away, discard them. And then, you know, yesterday I saw another video. It just set me off of another young kid, another young boy. His mom had so many videos. He was just one of those kids singing and dancing in the kitchen, telling jokes, just doing all this sorts of stuff, just full of personality, just happy. This is the kind of videos you just keep seeing and seeing and seeing. And then went to a party. Somebody handed him something, and there he is, gone, 15 years old. And it's same motherfucking story. Went in, was told he was brain dead, but the good news is that he saved 3 people's lives with their organs. This is such a motherfucking scam. I was just like, this is so goddamn sick. I swear to fuck. It's very haunting when you find out, you know, that somebody you know just died of something that was made up. That is a diagnosis that's not real, and that they are using it to do this. And I just, you know, hearing what that doctor said, just knowing that they're, you know, I mean, they used to do surgery on people and they think that people didn't feel it. They don't care. They just don't care. So, you know, somebody's sick and holding on to their body still, and then they're just kicked out of it. But, you know, everything is going to happen the way it's going to happen. It's all supposed to happen the way it happens. These are all things for us to see. That's why these people are like martyrs. They're showing us something. And it's very hard to see. It's very, very hard. And, but, let me think, because that was, okay, because the Hawaii thing, there's just so many things that keep being with the Hawaii thing. And this was, so this guy, he did this video that I saw this morning, and he was talking about that he's been kind of obsessing, watching the remote viewers. And one of them was talking to Cliff High. So it's on YouTube, but they have a channel that you have to pay to have if you want to watch. And then, but it's also on another channel that has a subscription, but you can do the free subscription for 7 days. And so he's been following along, but he did the free subscription. And so he's been watching and watching and watching. And so he said that, hold on, that Cliff High and this other guy are having this conversation, and they're talking, because this guy's a remote viewer, well-known remote viewer, and that there are 6 remote viewers or trying to figure out, you know, they were looking at something and they all started seeing this certain thing. They were all looking before, and they were all seeing what happened in Hawaii, but they saw it ahead and they didn't know what was going on. And so now they are seeing something else. And so they're kind of letting us know. And they're saying it could go anytime from now to 6 months, but it could also be up to a year. So we're in that window of time that I've been talking about, that I see. And, you know, and there's just certain things, like there's certain snapshots, like there's always certain snapshots that I get. And, you know, and the stuff is going to seem scary, but it's like the stuff that, like, we know, it's like, well, I feel like I talk about it so much that it's like, you know, we got to know what's coming. And so, they said that the West Coast it's going to be hit really bad. And, they said a coastline, but then there was other ones, because there's 6 different ones. And so the West Coast is going to get hit really bad. And they said it is going to be, they were saying something about cargo out of the planes was going to be dropped. Like the planes are going to be dropping stuff, but I don't know if the planes are going to be dropping, because that's what they show in the movies, is the planes dropping out of the sky. That's what trips me out when I keep hearing how it gets louder and louder and louder, and you go out and look. It's like something is going to happen. It's an electromagnetic thing. This is the pole shift. This is the thing that I keep talking about, this energetic. It's like a whip around. It's going to turn us the other direction, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be dramatic. It's going to be mass casualty event. It's going to be intense. And none of us know, you know, where, I mean, I know I'm in a fucking red zone. Like, I know that. And, who is it? Donna? I mean, there's a couple of us, I think, that are over here in Washington. We need to make our plan how we're going to caravan out of here, because he said that there's a ton of that. The remote viewer said there's a lot. There's going to be this big, horrible thing that's going to happen. It's going to have to do with, like, frequency and stuff. There's going to be some, like, EMF kind of things that are going to happen. There's going to be tons of fires. There's going to be a huge amount of fires. And there's going to be tons and tons of people that have nowhere to go, that are just going to start caravanning and start going towards safety. And that is what I have been saying, you know, and it's so weird too. Like, I don't know. I don't, you know, maybe in these caravans that we're going to meet, you know, we're going to all, as we're going out and starting to walk, because cars and shit won't work. Like, there's going to be, it's going to be like this big giant disaster. It's going to be really horrific. But then, and it can be that, that all of this, well, all the coastal, like all you gotta do is look at the map. Just look at the doomsday map. And so the West Coast is going to get fucked. And there's weird shit going on with the Mississippi right now over in Louisiana. Mississippi is drying up. And so something is going to go, like, because Louisiana is going underwater. So I don't know if they're going to all of a sudden open a bunch of dams. There's something shady. And that's one thing that the remote viewer said too. There's a bunch of shady meetings and shit going on. And so now it's drying up, so they don't have drinking water. There keeps being salt water in the Mississippi. And so they've got a whole issue over there. But look what they did in Libya by opening 4 dams. They put the whole goddamn city underwater. It's all about this contain and control. Like, we all think like they're doing these dams, to help us and stuff. I don't think so. I think that they're doing them for control. I just saw a video that somebody did about all the fires in the 1800s. Yeah, that was their reset. They fucking burned down all these different cities and stuff to start over. I don't know, I mean, there's so much of our history that is just hidden from us. I mean, literally, we are all living a lab rat life. We are all contained and controlled in a habitat. And this is the breaking free. This is like Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes had such a significance to me when I was a kid. And this is... there's all these things. Just go back to when you were a child, of the certain things that stood out to you. It's trippy than getting to this place. It's like we all knew what was to come. And now we're here and it's like, fuck. But if it goes like, because there's going to be earthquakes and what they say, there's going to be a whole bunch of, there's going to be seismic, I think there's going to be volcano. It's going to be really crazy. It's just going to be explosive, like all sorts of shit going at once. And so all those disasters, see, where California is so condensed, the whole fucking coast, the West Coast is so condensed. And you have to, just like in Hawaii, you have to have tons of money to be able to live in these places, or have had it for a really long time. But even back when you got it, it was still overpriced for the most of us, so... the coast is full of people, who have a lot more money, and they are hard workers. They're probably still going to their jobs and shit. Like, they're still trying to keep this world going. And this is the thing too, is what I really see is like the things that we have happen to us through this situation, through this awakening. Certain things happen to us all. That's a part of our awakening. Like, we have certain situations that we wake up to and we have to go through and stuff. So we all have different ones. And I kind of feel like that these ones coming are for those people. For the people who haven't been paying attention. They have to go through this big, huge, scary thing. Which is going to be scary for us too. But yesterday it was kind of showing me that... What was that? Out of a clip from... Okay, let me see if I can see it. Because it was a clip. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it was a clip out of Weird Science. And if you remember that movie, these boys, they use the energy and they create this artificial girl out of a Barbie, and then they make her into a real girl, and it's all this magic, and all this magic happens. And so she's trying to help them learn their own power, because these are these nerdy little boys. And so they have a party, and all these so she gets these like creepy looking bikers to come and cause craziness at their party, and she wants these boys to stand up to them. And the boys are way too scared. And so she has to keep showing them, yeah, stand up to them. Because as soon as they do, as soon as they say something, then the biker guys are all just like, oh, sorry, didn't mean to bother you, and stuff. They're apologizing and stuff. And it makes the other guys seem all like, yeah, get out of our house. And then see, it is this seeing our own power, seeing that is... It is like this game. It isn't real. And once we get that view of it, then we could go in like superheroes or something. It seems like to me, like we got to see it, because it's all going to be individual too. Because if you really are just completely scared and shattered and the world's about to fall apart and you don't know where you're going to go and stuff, then you're living in fear. But if you are, confirmation, double confirmation, and when you're, but if you are living in your truth and you understand your power in this place, then you can step up your role and you can step into being a hero or something, just like on that, just like, hey, I know what's going on here, and because there's going to be so many people who don't. All these people just keep going to concerts, going out to eat, hanging around with their friends, have no idea what's going on, just got to get to work, and they got to have their free time on the weekends. They don't know what's to come. They're not expecting it. And so when it hits, it's going to hit them hard. This is their awakening. But I don't think it's all of our awakening. But it is the cataclysm, the reset, the landscape reset. Because those things have to occur. But it's going to be scary to the people who aren't expecting it. To me, like, yeah, if a plane starts fucking falling out of the sky, it's going to be like, fuck, it's going now. Shit's going down. And it's going to hit somewhere, like, there's going to be casualties. There's going to be a lot of horrible things that we're going to see. But that is where we got to keep in mind, this is like a movie. This isn't real. This isn't really happening to these people. It's happening to their glove, their avatar. It is, but that isn't real. That is like a movie. That's just a moving picture. So it's not really happening to the being. The being of light is, escapes out of the picture. So they don't go through it, but it's all part of the movie. Like when you're watching the movie, you need a lot of we're in this big action. And I never like action-packed movies, but I did like the sci-fi horrors, and that's what we're in. So, and what was that? I was just watched, Prime has a lot on these old sci-fi movies. I was watching one yesterday. I think I watched a couple. I don't know. I'll put something on and I'll lay down and I'm just asleep. And then, man, it's weird how I just keep sleeping, but it's like I feel so tired. And then I get woke up, man. I don't know. It's just everything is jacked right now. But so the sci-fi movie thing, this one that I had read, it was about another scientist, and he was trying to save his wife because his wife had some weird sickness. So he is just testing on people, just kidnapping people, testing on them. And his whole basement is full of a bunch of mutants that he's been putting together. See, that's how this is what this world is. That's really what it is. And so in that, in the movie, we got to have some drama. We got to have a lot of stuff. I don't like the action stuff. I don't want to be running as the ground's opening up behind me. I've seen some fucking crazy, like that fucking earthquake. It was last year, I think, and I'm not even sure what place it was anymore. Seems like it was like Central America or something. But it was some, earthquake, and the ground was literally splitting in half and moving apart. And the people were on these different things. It was like out of a fucking movie. And they're having to run and jump, and the ground's moving. It was so fucking creepy. It was crazy. I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. And fuck. And then I'd have Stella, and we're trying to jump. If we're going to be caravanning, man, maybe I should just start. Maybe we should just start caravanning now. I don't know. I feel like this is coming sooner. Like even if they're sitting there looking at that for 6 months, do all of the things happen at once? Are we going to just, because I think we're going to keep having things that are going to keep happening. Like this storm that's supposed to be coming in, that's supposed to hit over here today's the 24th. So it's supposed to hit the 25th through the 27th, I think. And the people that are watching the storm come in on the ocean, it's huge. It's huge. The thing, like that's going to cause a lot of problems with the tectonic plates, like I said. And in those remote viewers said that there's meetings where they're going in and doing this stuff. He said it's real shady. So if the water, and then it goes any kind of flooding, there's definitely parts of Seattle that they go flood. Like, and down there by, I haven't been there in a while. I think because they used to have like a whole tent village under the bridge that was kind of in between downtown Seattle and one of their stadiums. And under this bridge, there was a whole fucking city. But now it's like spread out in other parts. But it's pretty low. Like if the water came in, because Seattle's real hilly. I don't think it's as bad as San Francisco, but it's very hilly. And so there's low parts. And I was trying to see, like, I think a lot of the tents, I wonder if they purposely are doing that too. Because there's no fucking way that these cops, like the stuff in Hawaii, like a girl who was doing the videotape trying to go up and see the refrigerator, she could hear them and stuff, and she was trying to see, but they have cops sitting there blocking it. These cops know, like, you know what's in there? That's what I'm saying. There's cops. They're going to be fucking... There's a lot of people. Yesterday in the mail, I got 2 more things from the house thing. So I'm going to write him a letter today. And I'm going to tell this guy, like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to tell him, yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell him, I'm going to turn your name in for crimes against humanity, by the way, because this is illegal debt and this is harassment. And so, I don't know where it's going to get me or what's going to happen next. I have no idea. I am next month when I go down there to babysit. I am going to look around for a place, but still, this is like this storm that's about to come in. It's going to start snowing up by like Vancouver and stuff. It shows there's going to be snow, so they're going to have snow in September. So they're going to start hitting us with the winter hard. There's not going to be like where I'd be able to get over here and get stuff and then move and get over there. And I don't know what's to come. Seems like this is going to be, like a crazy intense. It's like the end of all of this. It's like it's got to end. It can't keep dragging out. So it's going to be an explosive ending. And but then when he said all of the people who were caravanning, he said it seemed like that they were all like caravanning towards safety. So there will be a huge amount of people. There's going to be a huge amount of people who are going to die, and then there'll be a huge amount of people who will be all coming together to move towards safety. And one thing, too, is people don't get, and then plus, like, fuck, they start doing, like, if they start hitting that shit in November, December, and then we got to try and caravan out over these mountains, like, oh, my God, damn. It would be fucking Dahmer Party 2024. Like, no fucking way. It would, that would be hellacious. So, look, I don't know, I don't know how, because it would make sense, but, I mean, a lot of people aren't supposed to live. A lot of people, this is their way out. This is their exit out of the game. So, a lot of people are going to be going. I can see why. Like, God damn, this is rough. But, so, oh God, those guys didn't say, like, I didn't go in and listen. He was just kind of doing a recap. And I went to look on YouTube, and I found this one with Cliff and the guy talking, and they said talking about what's to come. And then it was 4 minutes of clickbait of them talking about crystals, Sugargate or something. So, but, I don't know if they could tell what the season is when it's going to happen, because they're just saying it's going to happen anytime from now to possibly a year, but more than likely within 6 months. So see, that is what I kind of see it like, is something's going to happen, which I'm so hopeful. I mean, there's all these people who are so disappointed about the 23rd. It's like, I don't know for sure what they thought was going to happen. I'm just, it lines up with this whole thing with the crashing of the economy throughout other times of this, the arrangement of the planets or whatever, we're matching that energy again. And so that's my thing is, and we were not going to know until we get to Monday or Tuesday and start seeing what the economy is doing, because that was their whole thing, was do it on a Friday so that none of us would know what was happening until Monday, so that they could cover themselves. And I think JP Morgan or some already got caught moving like, I don't know, a couple $1 billion or something, trying to move it out of onto some offshore account or something, but already got caught because everything is going down. They can't get away with their crimes anymore. It's all being exposed. But so, to me, I'm hopeful that this is the economic crash. And the economic crash is going to start everything going, which we should be able to see more this week of what is going on. But once the economic crash goes, that is going to cause so much anger and chaos and craziness, and there will be regular people will be burning shit down, and then they're coming in hitting us hard on the storms and stuff, and so it's going to be very chaotic. And but see, like those of us who are awake, we're not going to go out and participate in that. We're not going to go out and run around the cities starting fires and rioting and all that stuff. So that is like an isolated group of people. That's their experience. So many of us, like me sitting here, there's so much shit that's going on that I don't experience. Like, to me, it's just kind of this Groundhog Day. Get up, go to sleep, get up, go to sleep, cook some food, eat some food, look for something to watch, do some crocheting. I keep doing stuff, but until my hands hurt so much, and then there's so much aches and stuff right now. It's got to be something with the frequency and all the chemicals. Like, I know that we are just fucking... and last night, I swear to God, and I keep doing that, blowing smoke out of my nose, because it really bothers them. They go fucking crazy. I don't know what it is in the smoke, but they don't like it. And last night, I felt a couple come out, and there was nothing I could feel, but you could feel the movement. It's so weird. But I try and reach, I was trying to pull and find something, and there was nothing. And so but if it's microscopic, you have to see it in the microscope. But how in the holy hell? And I'll tell you another thing that's really creepy is somebody caught one of those mosquitoes and got it on video, and it's numbered. It has like a little code, a little number on it. And the thing about these mosquito, all these bugs, but I think it's a lot with the mosquitoes, these manufactured ones that they put in these certain sicknesses. But the scary thing is what they had said now that's come out that goes along with it is everybody who gave their DNA to get it tested to see, who you're related to or whatever, or what you're made up of, which I think is all lies anyways, is that they are... that they got your DNA now, so now they can target you specifically. They've got your chemical makeup, they got your things, so that they can go in and go, oh, okay, well, if you do this, that person. So I started going like, oh my gosh, how many of these mosquitoes are actually targeted to hone in on a certain person? And when you're outside, isn't it weird how they'll just keep harassing you? Like, as soon as I go outside, there could be a mosquito. It'll just zippity-doo all day right up in my face. And you swipe it away, and it just keeps coming back. It just doesn't stop, or you have to go in. That's one reason why I'm not just sitting outside. Not only is it just spiders dangling everywhere, but these flying bugs, they just harass and harass. And then to know that they are... and I did get some sort of bite on my leg. I don't know what it is, but it is so itchy. And who knows what? I mean, they're out there giving us bites of like AIDS and shit like that. And yesterday, those TikToks I did to talk about this fake diagnosis and what they're really doing. And I did 3 videos, and they won't even let them go forward. They just hold them back. I think they've been seen like by 30 people or something. Whenever I notice the stuff that they don't want people to know, they don't want people to think for themselves. They don't want them to watch out for their own health. I mean, as far as they're concerned, we're just here for their entertainment. We're just, like, what are those things? those things like when the people who like to stand out and shoot guns and they pull and then the thing goes up and shoots up in the air and then they just shoot at them, or either at a game center, they just shoot it and things. That's like how they see us. It's just like, we're just like a game. They don't give a fuck. And, but that is, this is a war with these people. We're at war. We're like, it's like the Planet of the Apes. It's like we are, and even if some of us are science created, then we're not all just like, it makes me kind of feel so sad too. It is sad, It is, there's so many sad things. As the natural people, how they're so under attack. And I saw this video. This was so fucking disgusting. It was so disgusting. Sometimes I don't want to be one of the lab people. I don't want to just be a white person. Like, I'm sure that's why a lot of people did their DNA. Because they wanted to know that there's something more to them. Like, what am I? Just a white person? What's a white person? Just a person that has no color in their skin? Like, what am I? And, these, crazy people, they tried to promote their creation and have it take over. And this video I saw yesterday, it was a darker skinned person, There's all different colors. This is one whose hair grows out. And so it's like a certain type of tribe to me of the different, because it's the hair, it's the color, and it's like a certain way that features are. There's a certain features that make up the tribe. There's like a stronger feature, and then there's like these softer features. There's different ones that you can compare. Like if you compared an African tribe and then an Alaskan tribe person, like these certain features. That's where I'm like, it goes back to these, back to these other tribes, like the Mongolians and stuff. Like, I don't even know. Like, there's so much to our history that is, I just know that there's natural people and there's whatever we are, artificial. I mean, there's a part of us that has natural, but that we're still some sort of lab thing that they were doing to just make white Americans. And then they burned down all the cities, and then they put them all, their creation, on these fucking orphan trains, and then sent them out. And who knows if these these farmers at the time weren't just a bunch of Puritans, that they had put out to control, because these religious people, like, that is one thing that these religious communities have done so much of, keeping us under this control, under this tyranny. They participated in the stuff. They're a part of it. So if those were the people who were put around on and to raise their orphan trained kids, which I still, I don't know if my grandmas were off of the orphan trains. It's just weird to have them be like not really want anything to do with their families, and to have like these weird kind of things. Like with my one grandma who was from South Dakota, she wasn't from Fargo, she was from, maybe it was Fargo, but and she didn't go back she wanted nothing to do with her family. When I would ask my mom about like her family and stuff, she would say she doesn't ever talk about them. She doesn't want to talk about them. She doesn't want anything to do with them. They weren't loving. She always felt judged and stuff. So I don't know. And then my other grandma, I know that she had some sister, but I mean, tons of people in foster care sisters, like, but they could also be, they sent 2 siblings there too. Fuck, there's just no way to know. I mean, all this stuff it's just like evidence, but we don't have all of the things to put it all together. Like, I don't know all of, I mean, I would have to, I should ask my brother or my sister and see what they've found of going through either of my grandparents or either of my grandmothers, because there's a lot of stuff on my grandfather's stuff going back, you know, because the one grandpa is from Scotland, and that's where I really want to, I definitely want my dual citizenships and stuff. And so I do want to go back to Scotland. I've just got a strong draw there. And then the crane, like I would like to go there at some point, but I mean, it's like such a war thing. And I even think that that is why they escaped. My grandpa escaped from there like in 1912 or something. And I think that was during a famine where they weren't feeding the people. And a lot of people had to escape because they were been under attack for so long. Like so many people. Like, I think a lot of Europeans have been under attack for a long time, you know, and but America is more new. So, you know, this is, but these Yahtzees have been doing this shit over in Europe for a long time. And so then as soon as they made their way over here, and what was that I was just seeing too? Oh, yeah, it was one of those old movies. And it was, see, this was a ship. The people were coming across, and this guy, it was a Captain Clegg or something, and this guy went against the captain or something. And all of these ships, just like what I've seen in all these different movies, were all royal soldiers. There was all these soldiers, and these soldiers were fucking evil, just like what we have with our cops. They do not care. All they want is, what is that called? Obedience. It's obedience. It's all they want. Compliant. You do what you're told. And so, whatever this guy did, I don't know, but they cut out his tongue, cut off his ears, and then tied him to a post and left him out on this island. And, but in that movie, it kept showing these soldiers, and they were vicious. Every time I see this stuff. And so these people who were coming over to America and, you know, slaughtering these tribes and stuff. And there's so much disgusting stuff, you know, about, because all of the dark-skinned people, they told them that they were from Africa, and they really are, you know, they are natural Americans. And not only that, that they are, a lot of them are Cherokee. They're all tribes. They're all tribes. They're not African tribes. They're tribes from here that had moved across from like South America and Central America. And so they have all of those people, and they came in and took their land, just like what they did with the Indians. I saw a really cool video yesterday too. Two elders went to talk to, I'm not sure who the person was, a senator or something. No, it was like a CEO. It was something about the oil thing. And they're destroying all of these ancient lands and these rivers and all this stuff for this oil thing that they're doing, this pipeline thing. And I saw about this like a few years ago in Dakota. I think it was in North or South Dakota, I'm not sure. But this whole thing about the pipeline and stuff, that was going under with Trump, and Bernie was out there, and Shailene and all. It was like brutal. I really wanted to go, but I didn't know what to do with my dogs. I really wanted to go and fight with them, but it was a big thing. And then, so these elders, because the fight goes on, it's not stopped just because the news isn't talking about it. So these elders went to this before the CEO, and the CEO wouldn't come out and talk to him, sent some other representative. And it was just this same talking down to the people. And so that other video too that I had seen, they said about the guy who was the guy whose hair was growing out. And the video made me so sad to see these people. I don't want to be associated with these kinds of people. These white people, white American people. So he's blind, and he has a cane, and he's at the top of this really tall staircase. And so he's going and he gets to the top. And it must be, it is had to be a study because it was done way too many times. And so they did it over and over and over. So it was a young, dark guy whose hair grew out and had a cane. And he's going down the stairs. And so he reaches out. And the first person he reaches out is like a man. He reaches out to hold his arm to walk down the stairs. And out of nowhere, this really huge, giant, heavy-set woman comes tearing across and shoves the blind guy. Because he shouldn't be allowed to touch this other guy. So this big woman jumps up. I guess it was a woman. I think it was a woman. And shoves this guy. That was... But then it just goes on and just shows every person. He would constantly go up and try and grab somebody's arm or shoulder or something to try and walk to maneuver these stairs. And people would grab his hand, shove him back and push him and go like that. And it is shocking. It is absolutely shocking. It is so, oh my God. There was a couple of girls who then saw what was going on and grabbed him and walked him down the stairs. But it was only a couple of people. Most of the people just shoved him and acted like, you know, what a fucking weirdo. It is, oh my God. I mean, you see that shit and it's like, how can you think that we aren't going to go through this horrible disaster? This disaster has to occur. This is the kind of people that we live by. This is the kind of people that are out there in the world. They've got to, it is this meet your maker situation, you know. Come to Jesus, you know, get what life is all about. So, you know, there has to be this horrific thing. But I feel like confirmation, a lot of the horrific stuff, though, is going to be affecting those people that are like that. You know, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to affect all of us, especially those of us who are awake, who are sitting there just like, you know, each day, is today the day? Is shit going to go down? You watch the sky, watch for the signs. It's like, God. But it seems to me still that it would be this crashing the financial is going to cause huge chaos. It's going to cause giant things to occur. And it's going to be the domino that puts in motion the government going down. And it's going to, the government going down is going to take down so many other entities because they're all so, you know, they're all tied together in corruption. And so it's going to be like a domino effect of just taking all of that stuff down. And to the people who are going through disasters and scared, and the government's got, you know, it's going to seem like the end of the world. But it's a transition to a beginning. It's an ending to transition to a beginning. So you can focus on the ending or you can focus on the beginning as far as I'm concerned. And I'm focused on the beginning. Like, I understand there has to be an ending to what was. We can't have it. And yeah, it's going to be scary. It's going to be brutal. And it's going to be over here on my coastline for sure. But there's going to be more shit that's going to keep going. Just like the Louisiana thing. That seems very controlled. Very backdoor room. Here, let's cut off the water. And then something's going to happen. You know, if they're filling up the dams somewhere. And they're going to have a lot of rain. And they're going to get full. And who knows why the Mississippi has got salt water. Like, they're controlling shit. But Louisiana is going underwater, so this could be all of their big game show to get up to that. And but you know, most of the West Coast is going underwater. And so when all of that stuff starts going, see, that's where I think it's our energy. It's the energy that we are going to put out that's going to flip everything going the other direction. It is us. We're the ones doing it. It's not being done to us. We're doing it. We are making it happen. And it is, like if everybody was awake, yeah, it wouldn't have to be so dramatic. But, you know, it's kind of like these souls wanted to go and live. This is what they wanted to be like. This has to do with their lessons Like this huge drama that's going to happen, this big giant. And I guess when we really get our minds wrapped around, we're in a movie, you can really get yourself into the character in the movie, then yeah, you can really beef up your character and really have like, some fun with it. But it is, no matter what, it's just it's going to be traumatic, and I don't know, like shit starts falling out of the sky, like airplanes start falling out of the sky. Um, I would think they're going to fall on some, I mean, so many different things can happen. Fall on houses, blow up whole neighborhoods. Like it's going to be, oh, it's going to be gruesome. Really. It's going to be definitely the scary part of the scary movie. And then it's like after the dust settles, then that's when we start picking up the pieces and start, rebuilding and stuff. But it's kind of like we're all on this big ship. And the ship's going to go through this really big storm. And the ship's going to get all torn apart. We're all going to be in there hiding and shivering and scared. Some people will fall overboard and it'll be really crazy. And then by the time the ship gets to land and lands and we all get off of it and we're all just worn out, and then we look at it, it's going to be all tore up. Just like, God, can you believe we survived that? And then we'll start going and building. And that's when we're going to start seeing, I think, a lot of, there's all this land. We need, people to move to this land. We've got all this land available, and all these, I think that they will, I don't know, I bet you that there will be like some kit houses or something, some houses that people can put together quick by themselves. I bet there'll be some of that kind of stuff. It's going to be on such all different levels. Like, I don't even know how, like, what cut off. We should know more. I swear, if this is really the financial thing goes down, we should know more this week, because we should start getting called into these redemption centers and stuff for sure by October 10th, if that is what is really going on. And then we get this other phone and stuff. So then if we get this other phone, it won't need the internet. It's going to be different. It's going to be hooked up to something else, not something to control us. Like if it's going to be hooked into satellites or something so it won't go down. Because there's a lot of people who don't know their way around without navigation. Like they go out and start taking off and walking up into the mountains. They're not going to know where the hell to go. I guess we can just follow roads, like follow certain roads and just see. But, I mean, in disasters, there's going to be parts where there's not going to be any way to go through. We're going to have to find other ways around and stuff. So that's going to be interesting too. Like if there's going to be all these huge amounts of caravans and stuff, then that would be, that's unity right there. That's the people coming together. And that's what this is all about. This is all about people coming together. It's all about compassion, love, rebuilding. So, all this, everything has to go down so we have something to rebuild. As we're not going to be using the old stuff to make the new place. The new place is going to be, it's new. It's not going to, it is like, we have all these old places around. That would be cool if some people went and started finding some of these old places, these old cities, these old worlds, and then just started rebuilding them back up. Because there's a lot that are just, that they built on top of. Like there's underground cities in some of these places that they just went in and built a city on top of the city. And then it's like I've said about the realities and stuff, these layers, like fuck. Like how long they've been doing this? How many realities do we have? How many different timelines are stacked up on top of each other, It's it's interesting. But it seemed like there was something else I wanted to say about something I had seen this morning. I don't know. The energy is weird. We're in this time of change. Shit is going to keep going. I'm going to keep on hoping that this is the financial thing, because that's coming no matter what. And there keeps being more little things that they keep showing and stuff. I thought just they're having this march for freedom, China and Russia, and who was the other one? And they're out doing a big parade together. Like, this is going to be, I don't know what I was going to say, something about the financial, I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm not going to do the live today. Yesterday when I went on to go do it, I was so tired and so out of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And I was like, well, I already said, so I'm going to do it. And so I went on, and then there was, I think, 1 or 2 people, and nobody was talking or anything. And so I was like, oh, okay. It was like I couldn't even think. It's weird. I just keep feeling just weird. I know I keep saying it, but it's weird. I don't, like, nothing is how it used to be. Like how, to feel and stuff. I kind of feel like I've just reverted back to me as a kid or something. Like I've gone back to me as a kid. And I'm now here is just like this grown-up version of me but I'm still the me that I was, which is weird. That's a weird perspective. Like there's so many things that are just so strange about this whole thing. But, the main thing is, this is a transition. This is a time of change. This is a time of healing. This is a time of you becoming the best version of you, of realizing all the things that are happening on this planet is a multi-level, micro, macro. It isn't just for the planet to change. It's also for the inhabitants to change. And the only inhabitants that will continue will be the inhabitants that can change. And so, but it's up to each soul, and changing is hard. Growing is hard. And, look, I don't hold any shame on anybody who's going to be leaving in any of these things, because it is a lot. And they probably have, great lives somewhere else in some other planet. And they're just here for this thing. So, even though there's going to be so many people leaving, just remember that they're probably going home. No matter what, they're going home. But, they could be just going to the heavens home. But they could be going back to homes where they have kids and planets and stuff, like where they're in other realities living. So going back to where they are from. And then a lot of the people who are leaving and going to the heavens, they will be at the same place as us. We're just moving towards the same place as them. This heavenly frequency in our mind. It's this opening our minds up and seeing, because the more you open your mind, the more you can see, the more your awareness, the more you can understand, the more you can see what's around you. And, this world is very different than what we had thought. And there's, but I was like, we didn't want to see it, or they didn't want us to see it, or something. Is the folklore and stuff is always real. And, like all that stuff it's real, but we didn't want to see it. We wanted to pretend like, oh, that's not real. That's crazy. Ghosts aren't real. Monsters in the forest aren't real. But the monsters in the forest are real, and they're there to eat us. So anyways, I have no idea. Maybe I'll come back and do another video later. Maybe there'll be something more to talk about or whatever. But if you are, wanting to know more about like this stuff, the guy said he'd watched like 4 hours of these remote viewers, and they say a whole bunch of stuff, and it's not good. It's going to be a lot of disasters and stuff. But you can still, if you want to go in and listen, but just keep remembering, because your awareness is different than what is going on with other people. If you're looking and you're trying to figure it out, you have a different awareness. So you don't need the same impacts as what other people are going to be impacted with. So we are all going to have different things. We're all going to have different things that are going to impact us. Like a lot of us, you know, I mean, we could lose a bunch of family members and we're going to go through that pain. Like, I don't know. I mean, people who got these are having all sorts of issues. I've seen videos like they're crying, they need help, and they're scared. Like, you know, I just it just feels like this just drags and drags and drags, just dragging us through pain. Like I said, it's like when they used to lynch people and they'd hang on to the back of their cars, tie them on with chains and ropes, and then just drive around until there was nothing left of them. That's what it feels like they're doing to us, man. So anyways, just you got to keep being strong. You got to keep focused on, you know, don't focus on the fear. Don't focus on all of that stuff in that way. Like, I don't know. To me, you know, it's like you want to know what's to come, but it's going to be bad. But it's still, it kind of gives you peace to know, okay, it's going to be bad, but I'll get through it. It's going to be fine. I'll get through it. It's going to be hard, but we'll get through it. And it's just, man, it's scary because we all have family members and stuff who are asleep. And it's going to be like, I don't know. The visual I'm seeing is like picking up the snow globe. Like we're in the snow globe, picking up the snow globe and shaking it real hard. That's the visual I have. So I don't know. Just, all I can say is I know we're not supposed to be in fear. I know that all this time is for us to become healed in so many different ways, and we have to become healed in order to create this new world. So it all goes together. So for me, I would think a lot of you who are awake and in the same kind of place as me, it is, we've got to just keep working on ourselves and get prepared. And that there is going to be these roles that we're going to be stepping into to help people because they are going to be so confused. They're going to be like how we were a couple years ago. So anyways, just keep staying strong and try not to stay in fear. And it's hard, I know. There's just so much unknown and there's so much happening and there's so much trauma and so much drama. And, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's out of our hands. It's out of our control. And just, rest the best you can, knowing your soul came here for this. Your soul would not put you through something horrible. It is, your soul is going through something to learn and expand. And it's a game. It's not, this isn't real, even though it feels so real. That's the weird thing. Wake up in this game and it feels so real, and then people keep saying, but it's not real. Well, it feels real. It feels real. So anyways, I will talk to you later.